You know that exact moment. 3 people, 1 sidewalk, and somehow, without anyone deciding anything, you end up behind them. You tell yourself it's fine, it's just a sidewalk, they didn't mean it. But here's the thing, it was never about the sidewalk. 3-person friend groups are mathematically unstable. Not emotionally, not socially, mathematically. And I don't mean that loosely. I mean there is a 150-year-old branch of mathematics that predicted this exact dynamic before any of us were born. It's called game theory. And once you see what it says about groups of 3, you will never feel personally hurt by it again. Because it was never personal. It was just math. Let me show you what I mean. Here's a simple rule that game theory gives us. In any group of people making decisions, individuals will naturally form the smallest coalition that gives them the most power. Read that again, the smallest coalition with the most power. Now, you have 3 friends, call them A, B, and C. A and B make decisions together. C is there. A and B pick the restaurant. A and B decide where to sit. A and B walk side by side on the sidewalk. This isn't cruelty. This isn't exclusion. This is what mathematicians call a dominant coalition. A group of 2 has more coordination ability than a group of 3. Fewer people to convince, fewer opinions to balance, faster decisions. And here's the brutal part. A and B aren't even aware they're doing it. It's not a conspiracy, it's an equilibrium. In 1950, a mathematician named John Nash described something that would win him the Nobel Prize. He called it the Nash Equilibrium. The short version, a system reaches equilibrium when no individual player can improve their position by changing their strategy alone. In a group of 2, both players need each other equally. The power is balanced. Neither one can do better by leaving. In a group of 3, the math shifts. Any 2 players can form a pair that is strategically stronger than staying in the full group. So they do. Not because they want to hurt the 3rd person, because the equilibrium pulls them that way. Like gravity. You can't be angry at gravity. Now here's where it gets interesting. In stable 3-person groups, the 3rd wheel roll rotates. Sometimes you're the one behind. Sometimes your friend is. Sometimes the other one. And paradoxically, the groups that survive the longest are the ones where everyone takes turns being the odd one out. Because what kills a 3-person group isn't the math. It's when the coalition stops rotating. When A and B always walk together, always sit next to each other, always respond to each other's messages first. That's when the 3rd person stops feeling like a friend and starts feeling like an audience. And audiences eventually leave. So what do you do with this? Option 1, feel bad about it. Blame yourself. Wonder what you did wrong. Spiral. Or, option 2, understand that you were never playing a personal game. You were playing a structural one. The most resilient friendships I've ever seen are the ones where the people involved actively break the equilibrium. They introduce friction on purpose. They make the uncomfortable triangle work. A sits next to C for once. B walks behind. Not because the math forces them to, but because they chose to override it. That's not romance. That's not philosophy. That's just 2 people deciding that the math doesn't get to make their decisions for them. And the ones who figure that out, they're the ones still walking side by side at 40. That sidewalk moment is not a small detail. Every group of 3 is running this exact calculation right now, probably in your own life. Next week, we decode another invisible trap, something everyone experiences but nobody explains properly. Same math, different feeling. See you then.